Morning, Maria, Kim, everybody. All right, good morning, good morning, good morning, everybody. I just like the music. What do you say, ladies? Wow. I just like the music. So just give me just a moment to just continue to like this music. Okay, all right. That's a very good place to stop and to start. Wow, good morning, good afternoon, good day, everybody. My name is Ann McNeill, and I am just extremely excited. And I'm excited every day to share with you something that has changed my life and the life of my family, my friends, my coworkers, and anybody who comes close enough to me, long enough to listen to me talk about how to start and run a successful mastermind group. I like to start all meetings with just a silent moment of meditation. If you would just close your eyes, whoever you are, wherever you are, whatever you're going through, if you could just kind of silence the moment, take a deep breath, inhale and hold it. Now exhale through the mouth. Oh, Heavenly Father, we just thank you for the breath of life. In the name of your Son, Jesus Christ, we pray. Amen. Thank you. All right. Well, again, my name is Ann McNeill, and we are talking about how to start and run a successful mastermind group. And I have been on this journey. I read Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, December 31st, 1979, 9 p.m. And many of you may have very different versions of the book. But I usually like to use a particular version, and I'll share that version later because I'm in that version. But I started this journey with this book, and where I was in my life's journey was broken, December 31st, 1979. But as I began to read the book in the first principle, the book began to read me. And the author asked me 4 questions, but he gave me 6 steps to riches. And from that day to this day, I have created a 7-figure legacy framework that I share with clients, all because of this journey. And in my first year, started my first mastermind group, and that was in the 80s, and we have been together, the 10 of us, ever since then. I'm in another mastermind group. We've been together now 20 years. We meet every single Monday morning at 6 a.m. Eastern Time. And we go over 10 areas of our lives. We review our our spiritual, family, financial, our health, our education, our personal development, our business or your career goals, our recreation, creativity, and civic goals. We set goals for 6 months, 1 year, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years. And like I said, I'm in my 40 plus year today. Now, how and why is that important to each of you? And want to thank you all for coming. When I start these meetings, I always like to start by giving a backstory because people see you where you are today. They see me where I am today, but they don't know the journey. How did I get here? And so I decided to create an opportunity to share this platform and the framework of how this is one of the books that I've written out of the 5. It's called How to Start and Run a Successful Mastermind Group. And there's a companion manual and a companion journal that goes with this book, and we're going to talk about that briefly. But I also like to start off by asking each of you to share why you're here, what motivated you to join us today. So let's start with the first person that's on my screen, and it is Angela Burns. Welcome. Good morning. You want to come on screen and introduce yourself?
Good morning. I'm Angela Burns, resident of Delray Beach, a deputy vice mayor of my city, a retired teacher. And I'm just, I met my soror, and thank you, a couple of years back, maybe a year or so ago, at a affordable housing conference. And I've just been following her, just been impressed by the things that she's doing, the advice that she gives. And so I'm really interested in finding out about attracting the right members for the mastermind group. I mean, and we had our meeting. We had a meeting, we talked, and she's anyway, I just want to get as much information as I can about, how do you attract those people? And so I'm understanding that they may not be the people who are in your book study group or, these people that you're with. So I'm looking to see, exactly what that is. How do you attract, how do you identify those people and the pillars, what are those pillars of a successful mastermind group? So that's my story. I'm sticking to it.
All right, thank you so very much. And the next person on my screen is Kim. Kim, if you want to come on screen and share.
Good morning. I'm in Arizona. I live in Tempe, Arizona. I sat as the commissioner for Arizona African American Affairs for like 8 years. I run a construction company. I also have a trade school out here as well as a health clinic. So I've been a busy lady. I saw your group and I wanted to learn from you. So I'm eager to find out more.
Awesome. Thank you so very much. All right, next person on my screen. Thank you, Kim. Kim, I'd also like to encourage you to join us with the National Association of Black Women in Construction. That's for all of us. So Joy, if you can put that information in the chat, NABWIC.org. We do have one of the 5 businesses that I have is National Association of Black Women in Construction. It's a not-for-profit. It's for anybody, everybody, male, white, Hispanic, female, does not matter. We represent everybody. People say, well, why do you call it Black? Because I am. Why do you call it? Because I am. And I know what the struggles and the challenges, but also the opportunities of being all of those. And so everybody's looking for community. And this is a community for all of us. NABWIC.org. So Joy's going to put that in the chat. All right, so the next person on my screen is Maria. Good morning.
Morning, and thank you. First of all, thank you so much for this opportunity. I am a resident of Boca Raton in Florida. So I am a data analyst. I am a very IT person. However, I just left my last job because I work with big companies, big corporations in my life, in my career. But now I am stepping back, trying to create something different. I want to go to the community. I feel like my life is not just to be behind a computer, just being behind. Of course, I am so grateful for the knowledge I have, the experience I have, but at the same time, I just want to look for spaces for me, opportunities for me to serve my community, to serve, to create new things. It's why my friend Marcela Rogenberg, she invited me to this, and I have just here. I just want to listen to you what you could have for us to share.
Awesome.
Thank you so much.
No, thank you. Thank you for sharing. I mentioned about the book Think and Grow Rich, and there are very many volumes, but this is the version that I use. And like I share, people say, well, there's so many versions. Why do you use that version? And I say, because I'm in this version. Many years ago when I started our own mastermind group, after about 5 or 10 years in, we started writing goals for ourselves individually. And then we started writing group goals. And one of the reasons why the International Mastermind Association was created for Think and Grow Rich is because what we realized is that the groups did not have any accountability to a higher organization. And for those of you that's wondering, what is a mastermind group? It is a small group of individuals who are like-minded and like-spirited. A small group of individuals who are like-minded and like-spirited. And we come together to serve as an accountability on each other for the achievement of our goals. So I'm going to introduce a couple more people, and then we're going to talk a little bit about how do you start and run your own successful mastermind group. So I introduced some. Nancy, if you want to come off mute, thank you.
Good morning, everyone. And it was so good to see you at the CBC. We had connected years ago, and then, and I was on that I believe it's a mastermind with the Think and Grow Rich. It was once a week. I think it was on Fridays. And we discussed the different chapters in the Think and Grow Rich. And I've been thinking about you, and God does what he does. And then we were reconnected at CBC. And I'm so excited that you invited me to this mastermind, because I have been thinking for a while about creating a mastermind group, but did not really fully know how to do that. So I'm Nancy Allert. I'm known as a multi-unit expert. I show people how to create passive income and generational wealth by buying buildings, multifamily units, and leveraging life insurance products with living benefits. I live in Alexandria, Virginia. I grew up in Brooklyn, New York, and I'm a graduate of Howard University.
All right. Thank you so very much. And of course, Willie Blue, who's a part of our Clarity Mastermind also. And we're going to put these links in the chat. Michelle and Joy on YouTube, put the links in the chat on YouTube. We're going to also put the links in the chat here. So for those of you, and thank you so very much, Nancy, for reminding us, because we do host a Friday, it's called Think and Grow Rich. It's a Friday accountability mastermind every Friday morning at 7 a.m. And like Nancy said, we just all come on and we have 1 minute. Pregnant pause, okay, to share our aha from the reading of this book, Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. And I say 1 minute because sometimes, myself included, we can get so excited about what we read and we go on and on, not realizing that there are other people behind us that also want to share. And I think that it is just a phenomenal, and thank you so much, Nancy, for mentioning it. It's a phenomenal opportunity. We are a mastermind group in that group also. So we'll talk about some of those. But also you get 1 minute to share your aha from the reading of the book, Think and Grow Rich, every Friday at 7 a.m. Eastern Time. And you can go to annmcneill.com. You can register. You can go to internationalmasterminders.com. You can register. We're going to put these links in the chat. And you can also go to Eventbrite and just search Think and Grow Rich Friday Accountability Mastermind. And you can find us on all three of those places for the Friday call. We also have a Saturday podcast we host. And what I'll also do before we wrap up, we'll bring these up the screen. We'll bring the screen up. So Michelle, you can get ready to prepare those. Because I really want to just make sure that when we talk about how do you start and run a successful mastermind group, we want to give you tools. I'm a contractor by profession, 40 plus years, and I carry a toolbox with me. My toolbox in it are books. They're books. Yes, I'm a licensed general contractor. I hold 2 GC licenses, but in my toolbox, they're books. And so I say that because this book and many, many other books per industry, per life skill, per life opportunity is my blueprint for success. And that's what we share as a part of how we help you start and run a successful mastermind group. But I want to make sure I introduce our Clarity Mastermind member, and he follows me on a lot of different platforms. Good morning, Willie Blue. How are you this morning? If you want to introduce yourself, sir.
Yes, good morning. I'm Willie Blue here in St. Charles, Missouri, and I'm a part of the Clarity Mastermind, like you were saying there before. I would have been on earlier, but I couldn't find a link to it. I didn't get one in the mail, so I had to look back and do the re-register to get it. So, but that's the reason I'm late coming on this morning.
Well, thank you, Willie. We'll work on that, Michelle and Joy, to just make sure we just resend it. And I forgot to ask everybody, how did you learn about this call today? Because we want to make sure we make it available, which is why we do it on YouTube.
They don't want to fucking do. I got it. They want
Yes.
every day.
So if we can, thank you. So we've already introduced everybody. What I want to do is, let me go back. Can I see the hands of you? This is an opportunity to share your questions, and I'm going to share answers. But I like to start by talking about how do you start and run a successful mastermind group. First thing I would encourage all of us to do is identify one person, just one person. And then the two of you must be in total agreement on the third. The three of you must be in total agreement on the fourth. Now, let's say you want to stop there, right? 4 of you, just the 4 of you. You must be like-minded and like-spirited. Now, what does that look like? Because I'm a member of the church, and I know years ago when I started this, I thought that, oh, wow, I'm going to invite people from my church because they got the spirit. But what I did not know, they had the spirit, but they were not like-minded. And I say that again for some of us Holy Ghost filled folk, right? Yes. So heavenly minded, no worldly good. And then I realized that I can't do that. Then I started focusing on smart people. You know, those smart people. I'm not going to call the degrees and all of that. But the smart people, they were like-minded, but they were not like-spirited with me. That didn't work. And over the years, I am learning, which is why I wrote the book. These individuals must be like-minded and like-spirited, but start with one person. This is how you start and run a successful mastermind. You can put all the books away, you put Think and Grow Rich, put all this stuff away. Identify one person. The two of you get together and you make sure they're aspiring to achieve something in their life or their business. They have at least one goal. And then what we find that works very well, if you start with chapter 1 in this book, Think and Grow Rich, really you should start with the praise, the testimonials. Why? Well, for one, you'll get to read mine, okay? But there's so many testimonials in here to help us understand people from all walks of life, politicians, children, all kinds of people have used this as a foundation. Is not going to do the work for us. It's just a foundation upon which to stand. Now, in this book, I give you instructions in the very back. There's a manual, and in these instructions that we give you, it helps you to know we have an agenda of how do you start and run. We have a personal survey. We have a book list. We have a sample, and these are just some of, and I'll just turn these pages so you can see. And Michelle, in the future, we can just take these pages and put them on a slide, and we'll share them. But these are some of the samples of the agenda. And the agenda sample says, call the meeting to order. We have a sample code of ethics that you would want to read. Then you would begin to give your reports. You're going to discuss what's your report look like? In this book, we give you a sample survey that asks you different questions in the 10 different areas. Now, why is that important? Because when you have a goal, let's say your goal is to make money. How much money do you want to make? It's all in the book. These questions are all in the book. Number one, how much? What are you going to do to make the money? By what date do you want the money by? Then what's your plan of action? Now, when you come to the meeting, everybody is saying the exact same thing. Right, Willie Blue? He's going to shake his head, yes. All right. Everybody's saying the exact same thing. This is how much money I want. It's personalized to each individual. This is what I'm going to do. It's personalized to the individual. This is what date I want it by. It's personalized to the individual. Now imagine if each person each week says that, and now you're going to hold them accountable for the plan. Herein lies the work. If you're coming together every week when you meet, and I'll just use myself for example. When I first started, I was not a contractor. I had a good corporate job, and that was good. But my desire in starting the group, when I read the book, based upon what the author said, he said, if you have a desire, find somebody that also has a desire, and you come together and you meet twice a week, is what he says in the book. So I started giving the book away to friends. I don't suggest you do that because people don't respect what they don't pay for. And like my friend Les Brown says, Ann McNeill stopped giving away everything, including this meeting, for free because people don't respect what they don't pay for. And the more they pay, Ann McNeill, the more they pay attention. But I digress and I didn't listen. So I gave the book away to friends. Over the years, 10 of us came together and we started meeting every single Saturday morning at 7 a.m., walking through these questions, holding each other accountable, just a little bit. But I'll use myself as an example of what does not work. So eventually, when became my turn, and some of you heard me say this, I kept saying the same thing. I want to start a business. I want to start a business. And then people say, okay, what's your plan? Okay, well, I'm going to start a business. And I say the same thing every week. And then one day, my friend, one of my mastermind partners, she said some harsh things to me in my home. Yes, we were in my home. And she said, you keep saying you want to start a business. We ask you what? You say you want to be a contractor. Why don't you take a class? Now, why is this story important? Because I never thought about taking a class. I just knew what I wanted to do, but I did not know how to do it. I didn't know what the next step was and the next step was. And it didn't matter. I didn't know all the steps. I just needed to know the first step. She said, take a class. We're just so sick and tired of you. Every week you come here, you say the exact same thing. That's all I knew. That's all I knew. And let me tell you something. I am so thankful for her. Why? Because if she didn't do that and put fire up underneath my, you know what, we wouldn't be sitting here now. I wouldn't have 5 businesses. I would not have impacted thousands of lives to live a better quality of life. And so I'm saying that because you don't want to fill your mastermind group with people who are naysayers. Oh, yeah, you're doing good. Oh, you didn't do your homework this week. No problem. Oh, really? Oh, okay. We'll see you next week. Each one of us know a teacher who was hard, elementary. Not you, Miss Burns. We're not talking about you now. Okay. Each one of us know a teacher who fired us up. And isn't it interesting how now, years later, you remember that teacher, but you don't remember the really nice teacher to just let you get by. Why is that so? I don't know. It just is. But I would tell you this. This process of learning how to start and run a successful mastermind group, the work is the inner work that works if you work it. And I would tell you, everybody, I don't want to do this. But what I want are the benefits that are derived from doing the work every single day in and day out. And I get emotional when I think about it because that's the work. It's not all this other stuff and what I wear and how I look. It's not all of that stuff that's external to me or to you. It is in here. It is in here. Reading a book a month, reading something in every single area of the life, all 10 areas, just a little bit, not a lot. It could be a page, it could be a paragraph. I love reading Emerson essays. So in my education section, I read Emerson. I don't read much of Emerson because I can only do a paragraph or a line every now and then. But I read something 2 days ago that was so powerful. Do you mind if I share what he said? Everybody. And I was actually walking after I read it, and it was raining. And I had on headphones. Some of you may have seen me on Facebook Live. I had on headphones. I had a Scully, and I really was not looking right. But I was on Facebook Live, right? So it was Friday, actually. It was Friday. And this is what he said. He said, beauty without grace is like a hook without bait. Can I say that again in case somebody missed it? He said, beauty without grace is like a hook without a bait. And his point was, you know, people who just look beautiful, they just look beautiful. But inside, just And he was, the essay was about beauty and how beauty, 20, 30 pages, he's talking about the word beauty. And then he talked about how some people, when you look at them, they're not appealing. Their face is marred and warped or burned or whatever. Oh, but the spirit that emanates from them is just so alluring and so warm and welcoming. Beauty, inner beauty. And I'm saying that because to read a little something in every single area of your life, it's not the big books, it's not the completing of the books, but it's just the idea of being more intentional. But my question to you is this: who's holding you accountable? Who's holding you accountable for reading something in your spirit? You don't have to be a Christian or atheist, all that, whatever you are, read something. If you're an atheist, be the best atheist, period. But meditate. What are you reading in that area? Your family, what are you reading? your education. What are you reading? Your health. One of my favorite books is called You're Not Sick, You're Thirsty. Yeah, I read that book like 20 some odd years ago, and I said, man, that's why I'm all having all these ills. How about I increase my water intake? How about if I ride with water? How about if I buy some water, a water cooler at my office and stop using an excuse why I can't drink water? I mean, little things like that. Recreation, go to a park, creativity, write a line, a journal. So I'm saying that to come back to how we start and run those are some of the things that we do inside the mastermind group. All right, now I'm going to take questions. I'm going to wrap up because I do want to respect your time. And this has been phenomenal. I want to thank all of you for joining. But any questions, raise your virtual hand, raise your real hand, and we'll take the questions. No questions, no hands. Yes, Nancy says she has a question, and then Willie Blue.
Okay.
Go ahead, Nancy.
Oh, I was looking for the virtual hand and I couldn't
It's
ask
okay.
it out. So my first question is, I see you keep bringing up the book, but I couldn't see which version.
Okay, thank you so much. We're going to put it in the chat, Michelle Joy. It is,
Around.
okay, this is what it, go ahead, Willie.
No, I was saying turn the book around. You had it faced the other way.
Okay, no, I was gonna do the ISBN number. So Michelle is gonna put the ISBN number in the chat on Zoom, but also she's gonna put the ISBN number in the YouTube. I'll read the number and you can write it. ISBN number 978-0-990-7976-0-9. Again, ISBN number, and she's going to put this in the chat. 978-0-990-7976-0-9. This is the version that we use for the Think and Grow Rich. There are a lot of different versions, and you can use any version. But we follow that as a foundation, and we have an agenda of how we read a principle per month. Now, this is just a foundation, everybody. You don't have to do this the way we do it. I'm just finding after 40 plus years of doing this, it works. Now, Willie Blue is here and some others. I also host what's called a Black NSA $1 Million Mastermind. I've been doing it now for over 10 or 12 years where I volunteer, and I've helped over 1,000 national professional speakers with this process and my framework on how to start and run a successful mastermind group. And there are individuals in there that have made 6 figures from my framework, and I volunteer to do that. I'm saying that, and Michelle, you can put that in the chat too. I'm saying that because it works if you work it. But in that group, I only talk about one area of your life. That's your business. Here, I talk about all the areas. That's why in this book of How Do You Start and Run a Successful Mastermind Group, it is for me the life. This is the life. What I mean by that, it is for your entire life, not just for your business. For many years, I thought my business was my life. I thought my name was MCO Construction. But I had to find out the hard way after I got sick and did some other things, running for the money, that it was not all about the money. It was about a better quality of life, but in every area of my life. Make sense? Okay.
Yeah.
Willie
And my
Blue?
second question was,
Go ahead.
and I think you showed it, but it was really quick. The name of the second book and I believe it's How to Create a Successful Mastermind
Yes, this is the book, How to Start and Run a Successful Mastermind Group.
by
Anne
Anne
McNeill.
McNeill. Thank you.
No, thank you for the question. And again, all of this is in the chat, and you can go to annmcneill.com, and all these resources are there. The book, the ISBN numbers, the references, and also the links to the Friday call, which we've talked about. Thank you, Nancy, for that. We also do a podcast every Saturday if any of you are interested in being on the podcast, where we talk about a principle per month. And the principle that we're in right now is the principle on sex transmutation. Okay, all of this is on YouTube. You can go to Ann McNeill YouTube and you can see those questions. Now, I know Mr. Blue, you had a question, please, sir.
Well, I'll comment first about the book when she's saying get this one and work with it, because if you're in a group, it's confusing when you tell someone it's on page 82 or 86 and you go there and it's not there. And so if everybody's on the same page, then you're doing it the right way. But I was wondering, are we meeting for 30 minutes every Tuesday?
Well, 30 minutes here because thank you so much, Mr. Blue, for the question. And also thank you for your comment about let's use the same version of the book, because there are many versions. And he's absolutely right. When we say turn to this page, like I would tell you, turn to page 28 in this version. That's the page that I was on when the light bulb came on for me, when the author asked me those questions. So if you're using a different version, you go to 28, you say, what is she talking about? But yes, this call is scheduled only for 30 minutes to be a question and Q&A call. I just get excited, sometimes long-winded, because I am so passionate about this subject. My granddaughter at 8 years old, she's 9 now, she just published her second book, and she's in a mastermind group every Sunday with me and the children for an hour, and they read one page with me per week, and we discuss it. One page. And she's been in that group since she was 4, and she's 9 now.
Wow.
Every Sunday, 30 minutes, an hour, depending upon the number of children depending upon the number of children that show up. And if you're interested in sending your child out, if you trust me with your child for an hour, grandchild, a niece, or nephew, you can go to, again, Think and Grow Rich Youth on Eventbrite. You can also go to my website and the registration is there. I do this as a volunteer for free. I know what it's done for my children. I know what it's done for my grandchildren. I know what it's done for the children of our friends and families. And one of the ladies is here. I'm going to ask her to come on if they wrap up first. But there's a breakout on the other side of this line where we are planning for our annual meeting for your life. And one of the ladies in that breakout is Kendi Ward. She's been here with me now for 20 years. And the first 10 years when she started a mastermind group, she had no nieces and nephews. Her siblings had no children. And when they started having their first couple of children, she tried to get her family to create and start a free family and friends mastermind group. And they didn't want any parts of it. They didn't do it, but slowly they started. And I would love to have her share. Kendi, if you can go over and get Kendi. Michelle, if you can go over in the other breakout group and get Kendi, we're going to wrap up with her because I really want her to share about her family's mastermind group and what this process has done for them. But any other questions, anybody, while Michelle goes over to the breakout, get Kendi and come back. Any other questions or comments?
Is there another class, lack of a better word, continuing from this, or is it just this every Tuesday for half an hour?
Great question, great question, great question. There are so many ways to connect with me, Nancy. We're going to put a link in the chat, and I'm going to help you start your first mastermind group. That's the best way for me to volunteer with you, right? Mm-hmm. So, Joy, if you put the link in the chat, and then we're going to pull the link up while we're waiting for Michelle. If you can share that link, Joy, and click it, can you come? Michelle, can you go over there to get her?
I don't know if I can when I'm streaming live.
I can get her. Yes, just turn over the host to me, but yes, you can. Anyway, Joy, can you go over just Michelle? I want to yes, Angela has a question. Michelle, put the link in the chat so we can pull up the form for people to fill out.
This is a technical question.
Yes, go ahead.
Technology challenge. I see where I can screenshot the list of all of the references, but once I hit screenshot, what do I do? How do I save this?
Okay, what you can do, Angela, click each of the links and it will open a separate screen on your computer. Just click it.
Oh, okay. And then that way I'll have it.
That way you'll have it. But you make a very good point, Joy. What we want to do is we want to send all of these, every single one of you that registered, we will email you all of these links that's in the chat.
Oh,
Joy,
great.
can you just,
okay.
Yeah, Joy, I just need a confirmation from you, please.
Yes, we can do that.
Thank you. So if you register, go ahead, Kim.
I'm sorry, I have to go, but it was very nice meeting all of
Thank
you.
you. Thank you so
And
much. And we'll send you the
I'll touch
email,
it with the
Kim.
link. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And Kendi is here. Kendi, good morning. Are you able to come on camera, Kendi?
Yes.
Thank you. So good morning. This is Miss Kendi Ward, and Kendi and I are hosting an annual meeting for your life in January. And we're going to put the link in the chat, and we're going to ask those of you to fill out the form. And again, we will send this information to you by email. We also want you to register with us in January for our annual meeting for your life. And Michelle, we're going to share that. And then Kendi, if you don't mind, I talked about you and your nieces and your family mastermind. So if you don't mind, Kendi, as soon as we finish talking about this annual meeting, these girls on the front row, half of them are in Kendi's family. One set of twins and then the oldest. The other two on the other two, one is my granddaughter who's now 9, the one that published her second book. And then one of the other young ladies, her mom has been in the group with me from my original group now for over 30 years, our original mastermind group. And that's Miss Nefreda Thomas. Her granddaughter's in this screen, and my granddaughter is in this screen. And they've been masterminding for years, only to be 8 or 9 years old. Now, we have this annual meeting. We're going to put the link in the chat. Joy, if you can put that link in the chat. And I really want to drill this home, and then we're going to let everybody go. One of the reasons why we hold this annual meeting is we want your mastermind group to come as a group to the meeting. Why is that important? So just imagine this. Every week you're meeting and you say, this is what I'm going to do this year. I'm going to sell 100 widgets. Now, by the time November comes, you've only sold 2 widgets. Now, you got 98 widgets to sell before the end of the year. Your mastermind group is holding you accountable every single week to sell 100 widgets. Now, you got to do all of these things. You say you got to do this, but only you're at 2. Then all of a sudden, because you know now you have less than 30 days, you start hustling. You start hustling. You calling people, you're asking people to buy a widget. And lo and behold, by the end of the year, you're at 100. Why? Because you have accountability and you have a deadline. So imagine in your health, in your spiritual goals, your financial, your family, all of your goals, 10 goals, it gets to just have 1 per area. It doesn't matter. But you know that you're going to come here at the end of the year, and on January, every single January, you're going to come and join us, and you're going to bring your life in writing. You are so excited. You cannot wait to share. We sit at a small table, 3 or 4, no more than 5 per table, 20 some odd tables, and no keynote speakers, no conference bag. Is not a conference. It is an annual meeting for your life, for you to give an accountability for every area of your life. Now, everybody don't want to be held this closely accountable. Everybody don't. But you may say, I only want to do one thing all year. Just do that. Then come and share. That's the purpose of this meeting. The link is in the chat, and you can register. Now, I would encourage you to click the link, register. But I want Kendi, as we prepare to wrap up, to share with you her family story, because I think she's an ideal example. Smile, Kendi, for the camera. You're on Candy Cam. So she's going to share her family journey as a family mastermind group. And I keep saying this, you can create any kind of mastermind group. It's just in her, she decided she wanted to create a family mastermind group utilizing our process of how to start and run a successful mastermind group. So Kendi, if you would share, please.
Yes. Good morning, everybody. So I started masterminding about 2005 with Miss Ann. And one of my goals for family was to have a family mastermind group. So I approached my family once I started masterminding, and I started getting results in my own life. And Think and Grow Rich had been a book that we'd already read as a family when I was a teenager. So I thought it would have been an easy sell because they knew what it was, but anyways, when I asked them, they said no, they didn't want to be in a mastermind group. But persistence. So I kept asking and I kept asking and I kept asking, and then in 2010, they were like, you know what? I think we should start a family mastermind group. Like I hadn't been asking them for 5 years, and like they came up with this idea of starting a family mastermind group. So in 2010, we started our family mastermind group. Right at when we started, it was just my parents and my siblings. So it's five of us, and we mastermind individually in the 10 areas. That's in the book that Anne showed. And as a group, we mastermind in 5 areas for family goals. So we have family spiritual goals, we have recreation goals, civic goals, financial goals, and business goals as a family that we mastermind in. And then as my siblings started to have children, we invited the children into the mastermind as well. We meet weekly via Zoom because we're in different places. My sister lived in Africa at one point. My brother was in Arkansas. I'm in Miami. My parents are in the Bahamas. And so before there was even Zoom, we use Google. We use, what do we use? Skype. We use Skype to meet. And so we've seen a lot of results in the family and the kids. One story I'll tell, with their goals, like when they were little, their goals are like super simple. But one year, my niece, she wanted, she was writing her goals. She wanted to see snow for Christmas, and she lives in the Bahamas, but my sister didn't discourage her. She was like, okay, all right, write it down, come up with a plan. You know, how you going to see snow? Well, we're going to go somewhere where there is snow. Okay, where are you going to get money from that? Mommy and daddy's going to give it to us. So they had like this, that was their action plan for them to see snow for Christmas. Um, that year, it was 2020, it ended up being the pandemic. We didn't go on summer vacation because it was the pandemic. So for Christmas, we decided to visit my brother in Arkansas. It doesn't typically snow in Arkansas, but that year, that Christmas, it was 17 degrees and it snowed. So, right, the Bible says, write the vision down and make it plain so those who hear it can run with it. Those who see it can run with it. So this year they did their vision board they were at the annual meeting along with my sister. And they did their vision board. They play golf. So a lot of their goals are around golf and winning tournaments and getting new equipment, which they've been able to do. They have a business. They I forget what it's called. They bake. They have a business. So they have goals themselves. So the greatest benefit of being in a family mastermind is being able to pass it on to my nieces and nephews. And so they are 11, 10, 9, and 9. The twins are 9. And they're already, setting goals and working towards them. So that's all I got for you.
All right, thank you. Okay, turn my camera back on. You know it was off. All right, thank you. Yes, 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 yes.
I'm sorry, I can't find the mechanical hand raising, but I did have one question after all. This has been wonderful, great. I have 2 pages full of notes. I'm a note taker, but I wanted to ask about the reading. You said read something every day did you say in each of the 10 areas, or choose one of the areas and make sure that you read something a day, each day?
Okay, Angela, you're one of the very few people who have actually purchased not just books of mine for yourself, but you've purchased books for other people that you want to be in your mastermind group. So in the mastermind book, in the very back is a reading schedule. Now, I can answer her question, but I wanted to reference the book. So in the very back, when you go back to pages 151, 147, there's an appendix B. It's called How to Form a Mastermind Group and How to Run an Effective Meeting. And so in there, you can choose, in addition to your weekly reading, your monthly reading, what we encourage, and I'm so glad you asked that question, Angela and Michelle, next week, we'll actually have a form for this. But when you open your book, Angela, we have in this is an old one that I have, but I'll just turn the page. I don't know if you can see this, but in the actual workbook, every single category starts with reading. So if you look and you have this right above each section and say, what do you want to read this week? And it could be an article, it can be a journal, it can be a book, it can be a newspaper or blog, whatever it is you want. You would just say, well, next week I intend to read a blog on health. Now, your mastermind group, when you go to give your report, you say, next week I'm going to read I'm not reading anything else this week coming up, but health, I'm going to read a health blog. Now, the next week when you come and you give your report, what we used to do, we had to begin to do this. We had to get to a point where we say, listen, if it's not written, you can't share it. Why is that? Because people like McNeill would just show up and talk. I can talk about myself. We would just talk and talk and talk. But where is it written? Did you check it off during the week? And so that's the beauty of the workbook, because it's tight and everybody don't want to be held accountable that tightly. I will admit, I do not want to be held that tightly accountable. I'm going to be honest. And I don't want to do this. Can we be honest? Can we talk? This is yes.
Yes.
This is no. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't want to do it, but I tell everybody what I want are the benefits that are derived from doing the work. Now, every week you may not read everything, but whatever you choose you want to do, write it down. Come together with a small group and have them hold you accountable and you hold them accountable. That is the basis and the foundation of how you start and run a successful mastermind group. Go ahead, Angela.
They're really great. And it's interesting how there are aspects of my life where I'm doing some of this, but not. I started reading this book, I think, in college. I can't remember if I finished it. I think I did because I'm a reader. But each year, because I'm really interested in a mastermind group with some like-minded people. But I have Kwanzaa. We have a Kwanzaa celebration at my house every year with my family. And at that Kwanzaa celebration, we make goals. We make financial goals. We make family goals. And we do it with the vision boards. Everybody makes their vision boards. And so at the end of the night, we show our vision boards and we talk about it. But we don't meet anymore until December, to say, hey, what goals have you accomplished? I always give everybody a financial goal. Like one year we had the 16-ounce water bottles, where if you fill it with dimes, it's supposed to be a certain amount of money. So now I'm the only one in the family that actually fill my bottle with dimes. Now, some of them started, they got halfway through, but at the end, I showed everybody I filled 3. And so because I was intentional on doing it, so I come up with different ways to save. So I'm thinking about this year. Well, not thinking about it. I know I'm going to do it at this year's Kwanzaa celebration. We're going to take that to the next level, make it a mastermind group, and then have some periodic updates, some monthly Zooms. We don't have to, because everybody physically comes to the Kwanzaa celebration. And it's been a family tradition for like the last 18, 19 years. But we don't meet on a monthly or since my mom died. We stopped meeting on Sunday. We used to be at mom's house every Sunday for family time, eating, games, whatever. And since mom died 3 years ago, we don't do that. But I'm just excited about starting a family mastermind group and then having more periodic gatherings where we hold each other accountable for those things that we make. So I'm excited.
Okay, because you are so excited, I want to encourage you, along with others, please click the link in the chat, and we'll follow up with you after the call is over. Please click the link in the chat and fill out the form to start your group. And again, we're volunteering here. The form is in the chat. We're going to also put the chat on YouTube. Joy and Michelle, just make sure that everything we're putting here in the chat, that we also put it on YouTube, because what happens is that people are listening to this in the future will be able to go to the YouTube chat and pull those links to join us. So can I see the hands of those of you from this call before we wrap up that's interested in starting your own mastermind group? We're going to take a roll. Okay. All right. Let me take pictures. Perfect. And then Michelle and Joy, we're going to, okay, we have Willie, Nancy, Angela. Okay. Anybody else? Willie, Nancy, Angela. Write this down. Janisa, Willie, Angela, and Nancy. That's it. Did I miss anybody? If I missed you, just come off mute before we wrap up and let us know that we missed you, and we will make sure we follow up. Okay, so just the three of you. That's perfect. Excellent. So we'll follow up with you offline and work with you to start and run your own mastermind group. I have to tell a quick story, though, and I know the time is way past being over. But I met with Angela last week, one day last week. I don't remember which day it was. Was it Friday? Okay, I met with Angela on Friday. And we talked about her desire to start and run a mastermind group and how the best way to do that. And I said, Angela said, my son told me whatever, you know what your son told you about certain people, right? Okay, we'll leave that alone. Now, so I said, okay, Angela, they've got to be like-minded, like-spirited. We'll set another date together. What would be the likelihood that less than 24 hours, right, Angela?
Yeah.
Less than 24 hours later, I am at an event in Riviera Beach, and I am sitting next to, was it our Sarah, maybe? I'm not sure if she was.
No,
she was a friend of Angela's. Not just a friend, but a very good friend of Angela. And I'm sitting with her and a group of women talking to them individually about starting their own mastermind group. And I don't know how your name came up, Angela, but as she was sharing, your name came up and I said, oh my goodness. Now, I don't believe in signs, I believe in the spirit. But I don't think anything is coincidental. That's why the first principle in this book is desire. And I contend that whatever and whoever you're seeking is seeking you. This is what it looks like. But they're waiting on you. They're not going to hear my voice. They're not going to hear Kendi's voice. They're not going to hear Willie Blue's voice. They're only going to hear your voice. But if you don't move and act now, they'll never hear that voice that is calling them to help them have a better quality of life. I'm going to end with that. My name is Ann McNeill, and I don't have a problem sharing my phone number. If you have any questions, I live on text. My number is 786-546-0184. Again, that's Ann McNeill, 786-546-0184. And if you want to connect with me, you can text the number 59925 and just put the word Ann in the chat. Text the number on your phone, your device, just go to the text and then open it up and then put the number 59925. And in the chat, just put the word and I will respond with information about how we can help you start and run a successful mastermind group. So everybody will be back here next Tuesday, 9:30 Eastern Time. I want to thank everybody from all over the world for chiming in. And remember, continue to think and grow richer. Everybody have a great day. Thanks. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.